Welcome to Toffee TV. It's the final word. Yes, I'm sure it won't be the final word on the matter, but the Merseyside Derby, 227th Merseyside Derby last night. Yeah, 94th minute, Baz, or whatever it was. Don't know, I'd lost track by then, but it happened. It always happens, doesn't it? To us.
Why is it always us? Probably should have.
We'd actually be our new sponsor.
Yeah.
We should get Balotelli to sponsor us. Just have why always us.
Yeah, it's yeah. It's not much to say, mate. I'm sure we'll say a lot, but it's I suppose the biggest thing I can say is that it didn't even hurt. It just kind of went, yeah, it's what happens in derbies, which is a bit of a crap way to be, but I think I've just been hurt that many times that now you just go, yeah, it doesn't hurt as much now because I kind of expect it. But you know, the way I just wish it'd have been like Jagielka-esque, you can't do nothing about it and you go, great goal.
It was
such a scruffy.
There was a grim reality to the whole thing, wasn't there? There was that moment between it hitting the post and bouncing back, which was not quite an eternity, but it was that period of hope and failure all wrapped into one, because you just, for that moment,
it hit the post and then I thought, don't hit Joel on the back and go in, and it went past Joel and I thought, have we got away with it? And then you just look and see.
For that second you're just thinking that could go anywhere. Could have hit the post and gone anywhere, but their man was more alert to it than basically our entire team, even though they had a couple of yards on them, but good centre forward play, I suppose. We kept the same team, plus obviously Funes Mori playing, and to be fair, right, there'll probably be a lot of revision of this, and there already has been a lot of revision of this game, but I thought in the first half, I thought we were alright. I thought we started the game well. I thought there was a good tempo, there was aggression, there was a shape. Everyone seemed to know what their job was, and I thought first half we were fine. It was an appalling game of football. Listen, we can't do your comments for this game because literally I can't be arsed trawling through all the Liverpool fans on our comments. If you want to watch our videos, great. Go, feel free. Get our numbers up. I don't really bother, but there's a lot of revision on there for them saying how amazing they were. I'm not slagging them off and saying, oh, you're shite. I just didn't think Liverpool were that good either. I thought it was a very, very bad game. But first half, I thought we were sound. I thought we kept them at arm's length. We threatened now and again to go forward, but it was a well balanced game, and I just thought we were doing all right. So up to then, it was fine for me.
Yeah, it was even. I think I said on my reaction video, and people of, Liverpool fans have come, some they've said, there was no, they were brilliant and it wasn't an even game. I said there was nothing between the teams. There wasn't anything between the teams.
Not the first half.
I don't think there was in the second half. They were marginally better, but I didn't mean there isn't a difference in the teams overall, because the league table tells you there's a difference in the teams. But I wasn't sat there thinking, oh my god, these are amazing, how do we keep these out? I probably thought at 5-8, how are we going to keep these out the way we've been playing? But the way the game panned out, particularly that first half, Everton were in the faces. I thought we started the game very well in terms of intensity, which we haven't been doing. Not even last week against Arsenal, we were slow out the blocks. We weren't last night. But again, the thing what we've been saying, I'd go back to the second half against Middlesbrough. Nothing, no inventiveness in the final third. We haven't. We just seemed to. We done it last time. We get in good areas and then waste the opportunity with bad decisions, and that was how the first half panned out.
I mean, obviously, losing McCarthy was the big blow, which is funny because I said last night, if you said to me last Monday night, if we were preparing for the Arsenal game about James McCarthy, I think I probably said in the preview just to bin them all together, and after a game and a half we'd all got our heads in our hands because we're losing them. But it did make a massive difference losing him, because you replace him with Barry and suddenly you've gone from someone who certainly, as I say, in the last game and a half has been all energetic, all over pitch, back to James McCarthy we remember we signed, and you're replacing him with Gareth Barry, who, you know, has been fantastic, but you can see the clear difference legs wise, and for this system to work, you need to have 3 midfielders you can get round the pitch, because they have to get round the pitch to accommodate other players. That's how it works. And as soon as Barry came on, the whole midfield slowed down, and Ross Barkley's game was affected by it massively, I thought. Garner not so much, but then again Garner's got to do more, and it almost felt like a knock-on effect for every player, every player had to do just that little bit more, and they just didn't have it in the tank to do it. And
no, you probably could have got away with Gareth Barry in the first half, and then James
bring them on,
coming on, you know what I mean? If he'd have started, I mean, and then McCarthy come on, because that energy levels from McCarthy would have kicked the rest, would have energised them. The other way round, they had to expend a lot of energy in the first half, because Liverpool played with that pace. And if you look at them, they didn't do anything early in the first half at all. You know, they had little 1-2s, they was nice and neat, but it was on the halfway line. In and around our box, I thought we defended really well. It snuffed them out, really. There was no moments where you know, I think there was one where Mike Dean gave a free kick that never was. It come from the handball.
Yeah.
That should have been, Henderson put his arm out. It's a blatant free kick. He lets it run on, and the Origi ends up smashing it wide. That was the only real time in the game, I thought, in the first half, where they got in behind us and they looked a threat. So I thought that side of his game plan, I've seen a lot of people today on Twitter and last night having a go with him, and, you know, Ronald Koeman, and he didn't have a clue, and he didn't have a game plan, and this, that and the other. I thought he did have a game plan. We were compact, we were tight. We limited a team that's been free scoring every week, you know, to nothing in that first 45 minutes. Absolutely nothing. So to that end, this game plan probably worked well. At the other end, you know, we got in, Rom got in, shot the shot, he tried to cross it. We've had a free kick in a great position at Valencia's at the, you know.
Why is Valencia taking them?
The issue I have, mate, is that he's about the 6th person to take a free kick. Baines is brilliant. Just let Baines take it.
Keep letting him take them. Eventually he'll pop
get one in, you know, and hit the target at least, you know. So we had that. We had the Funes Mori header that just went wide. He should have probably done better.
Should have buried that.
He should have hit the target. It was a free header, and he's decent at them attacking wise. So we were causing them just as much problems as us. In fact, they were moaning at the referee because they weren't having it their own way. But the McCarthy thing was massive. You know, and once he went off, we handed the initiative to them.
And we also seen the differences in the squad as well, didn't we? You know, little things like, I mean, you're bringing a player like that on, and, you know, we're bringing Calvert-Lewin on, they're bringing Daniel Sturridge on. The differences, I mean, we're starting with people like Valencia and Lennon, and you can see, but you know, I'm trying to look for positives, because I think there's a lot of revision. I think Koeman at the moment, and like, I'm not a Koeman acolyte. I'm giving him his chance. I'm giving him his time. But I'm not someone who's gonna, like, I'm not someone who every decision he makes I applaud or back him. You know, in the last few weeks I've been very critical of what I've been seeing. But what I do feel like I've been seeing in the last 2 games is his idea of how he wants Everton to play. Now, go back to the Watford game. I publicly said, you know,
there was no idea.
There was no idea. I wasn't seeing an idea. But in the last 2 games, I feel like I'm starting to see an idea of what he wants. Unfortunately, that's part of the problem, because it's only just happened. Our players don't have the legs to play like that for 90 minutes, where Liverpool did have the legs to do it for 90 minutes, because they've been doing it for the best part of a year under Klopp. Whereas our players looked, again, like it was the first game of the season. Whereas if we'd been playing it all season, we'd be able to keep that all going all the time. But I'm hoping this is the, you know, this is the norm, and not that this is the idea of how he wants to play. And he wants to play with the 3 in midfield, and loads of energy, get about the pitch, break things up, but use the ball well. Very much like, you know, like Garner does. You know, we were told he was just a breaker, but he doesn't. He gets the ball and uses it really well most of the time. And if he can get another one in there who does that job, I think we'll be sound in there. Now, it also needs they're not wingers. They're attacking the wide forwards aren't they? The wide forwards, they're not wingers. That's why I don't think it suited Morales and it suited Deulofeu. But we've seen the model of what he wants. Two players who will press high and chase everything, but will also give a little bit back when they need to as well, or at least the midfield will get across. Now, again, the two we've got in there at the moment, they're not the answer. They are templates, but at least now I'm starting to get an idea that if you replace those two players with a better version, we're gonna hopefully have a decent team, and they're the positives now that I'm seeing at least, and I'm just glad that obviously we're 2 weeks, we're less than 2 weeks from a transfer window, and there are talk of players coming in straight away that will fill those spaces straight away, and that's the positive I'm going to take. Yes, second half there was differences that we'll come on to in a minute, but I'm looking at that and thinking that's the Koeman effect. It's not too late, but it should have started earlier. Why he's allowed it to drift this long? Watford was on, like, he came out and said things after Watford, and whether I don't know, but the first half was definitely Koeman. Second half, you're seeing maybe a bit less Koeman, but at least there's an idea now, I feel anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the Watford game, the real worry, we sat in here with me after the Watford game, and I said, when we had Michael Ball in, the terrifying thing for me was there was no fight, there was nothing. We didn't look like we could match it with anybody, and that was what scared me. Yeah, the pattern of play wasn't there, and things like that, but the very least I expect from the Everton side is to go on and battle and fight and make sure the opposition know they're in a game of football. And we weren't doing that. Too many games have got Swansea at home. They were on their arse when they come to us, and we just walked around the pit. If we'd have gone at Swansea like we did in the first half, we'd have beat them 5-0 like Tottenham did. We'd have comfortably battered them, and we didn't. So them games were coming and going. Palace at home, where the last couple of games you are seeing, or certainly a game and a half, like you've rightly said, or 70 minutes of one game, 45 minutes of the other. But I think the compactness is there. We know there needs to be replacements. There's no question about that. You're looking and you're seeing we need a keeper. We desperately need a goalkeeper. We need another centre back. No question about that. We need at least one centre midfield player. I personally think Davies can come in and make it up. Tom Davies. But there's that kind of players need to be rotated out. Players like Cleverly and stuff maybe need to be moved. No. Let's get this right. Cleverly needs to be sold. Yeah. And I mean that for himself as much as anything. McCarthy. I think the worry, it's been really good. The worrying thing for me is he's got another injury. So he's back for a couple of games out again. Yeah. And I just wonder how long. You can't rely on players. I don't think we can have too many of those that we can't rely on. But okay.
James McCarthy's played bits of the season, and when he's played he's been crap most of it. Last couple of games he's been great, well.
And I think if he was to get himself fit and make him feel like he's part of that team doing that role, he probably could. He would do well in that side. I think Morgan Schneiderlin, if he comes in, will make a massive difference because he's physically tall, and I think he's good on the ball and he gets around the pitch. He was incredible for Southampton. Why it hasn't worked at United, I don't know. But for Everton, if we could get him, that would be a massive coup. And I think he would complement Garner, because he'd give Garner that physicality that he needs alongside him as well. And then it's but wide areas, like you rightly say, Valencia isn't the answer. All Valencia's
doing a good job.
He's shown us that
sort of.
If you can help Rom out, Rom becomes is more effective, and he's shown us that he's better than Deulofeu and Valencia. Better than Deulofeu and Morales at doing that role.
Well, he works hard.
He's not skillful. He's not better than Deulofeu. Deulofeu's probably got more skill. But what's the point?
But he applies himself.
What's the point?
Yeah.
So, there's definitely them areas, and I think you're right. If we can get, if it's a Memphis Depay in, who will play up in one of those wide areas as a striker and score goals, help Rom out, and we can get someone, maybe Luckman from Charlton, to play off the left, who's fast and young kid,
or whoever,
and that builds that and then you start to rotate the bench. Then you get the likes of Cleverly off the bench, and you get the likes of maybe Aaron Lennon. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but there's too many of these players now that I can't flash with.
The big problem is
recycling needs. Go on. What I was going to say, the long-winded point was, I think with Ronald Koeman, he came in, Steve Walsh wasn't in place. I think he wanted players that were out of our reach. He thought the money might do it. It didn't. And I think the reason why it took so long to get here is A, because James McCarthy hasn't been fit. That's been an issue for us. But I think, has he not done the right thing? He's tried out play. He's give players every opportunity.
He has.
Every opportunity.
Some of them too many opportunities.
Probably too many, but squad dictate that, doesn't it? You know, but look at Nias. Nias has been bombed out. The kid's gone into the 23s, worked his bollocks off, scored all kinds of goals, can't get near the side. So he's made his mind up on him. Kone, ice cream cone, he's gone, hasn't he? Trains every week, nowhere near the 18.
Looks about 18 stone.
It doesn't matter what it is. He's a player who's getting nowhere near the 18.
Bombed out, good.
Last night, unless Gerard Delafeu took ill or has picked up a knock.
His dog was sick.
Or his dog or his gel wasn't there. Yeah. He's nowhere near the 18 last night, which is, I think, is a big decision in a big game to take him out and put John Joe Kenny on the bench. I think that's a big decision for me. So he's already making his mind up on some players. You know, Cleverley was the be all and end all. He's back out, doesn't even get on now. So he's making them decisions, and I think what he's tried to do is
try to be fair.
He's tried. Yeah, I think he's thought, and I do think he did. I think around the time to offer game, I do think he thought, fuck these, just let's get to January because I want my own players. And then I think after Watford he thought, this isn't good enough and I need to get into these. And it was, I think, his press conference after Watford was quite telling. I think he made a lot of statements in that you know, what he wanted to do, and the press conference he does to the press after it, which is away from it. Yeah. Because all of a sudden them stories about players...
well, he does newspaper and he does TV. But even after we said this last week, even after the Arsenal game now, he didn't come on and go, it's great, he went,
no.
First 20 minutes was terrible. And the team is... It's not Jackal and Hyde, because it's probably 70% on one thing than it is another.
Jackal and Hyde.
What did I say?
Jackal, not Dave the Jackal.
Jackal and Hyde?
Jackal.
I'm just... Whatever.
Just for clarity.
It's Incredible Hulk, anyway. But it is, isn't it? It's just Incredible Hulk.
Cleverer version of the Incredible Hulk. Incredible Hulk's great, and I love the Incredible Hulk. David Bannon was... But...
Bruce, what you know?
Bruce?
Yeah, his name's Bruce Banner. His name was David in the TV series, but his real name's Bruce Banner.
But I'm talking about David in the TV series.
Dr. Bruce Banner, that's his real name.
But I'm talking about David Banner in the TV series. That's all I'm seeing.
Comics and all that, you know.
Comics.
Like 50 years of them. Anyway, we digress.
Again, isn't that for a different show?
We're going to start digressing a lot of other shows. But I think this is the big problem. This was the problem second half. We lost McCarthy. We lost the goalkeeper. Now, it wasn't the fact that we lost the goalkeeper, it was when we lost the goalkeeper, it lost us a sub.
That was the
issue. It lost us a sub.
Yeah, that was
and because there isn't enough between the keepers to be that arsed about him going off, but it lost us a sub, and he was about to bring on Calvin Lewin just as he got injured, and he couldn't, and he had to leave, and you would just think there might have been so basically lost us a sub when we couldn't really afford to lose a sub. It upset it. Added the extra 8 minutes as well.
Why didn't he just take him straight off? He was knackered immediately.
He was like that
immediately.
I was like that.
And then he walked him off could he not just walk behind the goal line?
But I was like that to the lads around us. What happens if these throw a cross in now and he tries to jump and lands on that ankle?
It was done.
It was done. It's finished. Kaput.
Ridiculous.
So we lost, and then Valencia going off. I mean, you don't want to have a go at Calvin Lewin, because I'm not going to have a go at him, but you're playing him in an alien position where at that time he was very not going to get forward, because that's what I'm saying, that sub at that point, I'm not sure it was the right thing to do. Maybe taking Valencia,
but he'd done it last week and it worked.
No, I know, but this is going to be coming to my next point. I'm not sure it worked because he was defending a lot rather than going at, and you're asking a kid who's a centre forward who plays off the shoulder to suddenly become. He was basically playing right wing back when he came on, wasn't he? So I think that might have been.
Who would you have put there?
See, that's the problem.
See, Morales wouldn't have.
No, that's the problem.
I see people go, "Oh, Morales." Same people who were banging on about playing a team of.
I tell you what I might have put there, but then again, see, I think the man.
I know what I'd have put on.
Holgate.
No.
Who?
I'd have put John Joe Kenny there.
Okay, well, see, but this is the difference.
Because he would have just.
But this leads on to my next point, though. The manager was trying to be positive.
Yeah.
But the team had already decided that they weren't going to be positive, and this for me was the big difference between last night and last Tuesday. Last Tuesday night, I think as a team, we looked at Arsenal and said we can do you physically, and mentally they thought we can do you tonight. You haven't got enough to beat us. Whereas last night, I think some of those players looked around and went,
I just think, and people go, no, it doesn't happen, but a mentality thing because it's Liverpool.
Well, I think, whether it's,
honestly, mate, like, too many of them players have been there for too long and seen us get turned over by them. Whereas Arsenal, I think in your mind, even though they're brilliant, and I know which team I'll back who finished higher, by the way, without a shadow of a doubt, because if it was on the last 6 days, the night and day, who's the better side. But I think Liverpool are physically stronger than Arsenal. They can mix it if they want it. But I think our players are like us as fans. Whereas last week, I believed we could win it at 1-1. Last night at 0-0 with 10 minutes to go, I was still thinking, but can we hang on it?
This is the difference though, and you are right. If Arsenal beat us, you would have gone into work the next day and gone, gut would be lost, but at least we had to go. You go into work today, you've been beat by Liverpool, and it doesn't really matter what happened, you got beat by Liverpool. And that's the difference, and that's for me was the big problem. Second half, our players decided that they were going to get a point out of that game, and the manager brings Calvin Lewin on, and it didn't fit in with what the rest of the team were doing. And if he'd brought a defensive player on, then you would have looked at it and gone, the manager settled for a point. But he wasn't, he was settling for the same. But so it was odd.
I think the other thing he done, because Calvert-Lewin done this really well last week, good in the air, and I think he was looking at James Milner thinking he can cause it. We can get, but it's exactly right what you're saying. What Koeman's looking at, he's thinking, well, the last 20 last week we started angling balls, Calvert-Lewin was winning knockdowns, but our team kind of went, this is Liverpool, and we were going further back.
We're taking a point here.
And further back, and Calvert-Lewin was getting dragged further back and further back, so we never really got the chance to put the angle ball into him.
We decided as a team that we were going to take a point.
The fans were magnificent.
Yeah, the fans were brilliant.
The noise was incredible, it really was.
The mosaic at the beginning was boss as well, and all that.
They were trying to kick us on, and even at 10 minutes to go, even when the 8 minutes went up the road.
That was the kill for me. But I thought the players just decided they were taking a point and probably thought, we'll be happy with the point, we've got to win against Arsenal, everyone will be happy. And that unfortunately was the undoing of them. And when that 8 minutes went up, I think, because you look at it, don't you, in games, and you get through this bit, get through that bit, and when you get to 90 minutes, you probably think, deep breath, one little goal, one more little goal, keep the ball to the other end, hit it long, might get troubled a couple of times here or there, but if you get through it, when the 8 minutes went up, it's like
another portion.
It's another big portion of the game, and I think that was our big problem. But I think what sums it up is, and it's probably summed up the night, is Rom gets the ball. Was it Lovren falls over, and you're thinking, and you're just thinking, go past them and unleash. That's all I'm thinking. Just get that yard and unleash. You know you can do it. Make the keeper do something. Worst comes to the worst, we get a corner and we're down there end and he doesn't. He tries to come inside, put it on probably his better foot. They put him out and it's over.
It was on his left foot though, because he skipped it. Lovren fell. He flicked it to the side and he ran round him and it opened up to hit it. And I think he wanted to get closer to the goal instead of just pinging it.
Just having a go. And so they go down the other end. Sturridge does the same thing. Skips along the line. I mean, the worst thing was Lukaku's going in a straight line forward. Well, not a straight line, but Lukaku's driving forward. He was going that way. He gets a shot off, and it's a spawny shot, but he's just centre forward. That's what you're supposed to do. And he gets his luck because it comes back. Our two centre backs are dreaming of a white Christmas or whatever. Funsmali's probably thinking about River Plate or something. And
barbecue.
Not a barbecue, yeah. No better time, is there? Well, probably thinking about what Carlos Tevez is earning in China and think I'll have some of that. And Sadio Mane gets a tap in and the game's over and the pink flares rain down. And that's the difference at times for me. I just look at it and think our mentality. I think for a good team, you have to be brave and you have to be bold and you have to. I always think about Man United. I always think when they won the leagues and stuff under Sir Alex, and they go into the last 5 minutes 0-0, but there was never anything like They never just threw balls into the box. There was a calmness. They just kept on playing. And you know what? They'd make something. They'd almost unneared the opposition by just keep playing football and kept going and kept going. And you've got to take chances. Yeah, you've got to take chances to win games of football. Liverpool probably looked at that and going, we don't get a win tonight here. You know, we're going for the league. They'll have 7-8 points on us, whatever. They knew they had to win, but our players were like, we get a point here. We're happy, and that's the difference. Arsenal, we were like, we've got to win this game. We haven't won it. We've won 1 in 10 or whatever. We've got to win this. But also, but then you go, and then it's also, what if we get beat? We've been beaten by Arsenal this time, but last night it was like, don't get beat, don't get beat, don't get beat, don't get beat. That was the mentality. Whereas it should have been win, win, win. And until we get that mentality shift, we won't win anything.
We'll keep losing
because that's the recipe for losing games, is being too safe. I remember when we had Martinez the first season, we went through that spell of winning 7 games in a row, was it? 7, wasn't it? And it was almost like the season's over, who gives a monkeys, let's go out. And there was some games that were very close at the end, but we pushed a little bit harder and we took risks. And it wasn't like, not talking about, because people think it's double standards here, it wasn't like gung-ho, but we kept trying to win. We kept...
And you think of like Cardiff at home that year when Coleman shins it in the 94th minute. We kept going. There
was a winning mentality for that period.
That comes from winning games though.
But it was same with Moyes. And it wasn't in the big games, don't get. But in the games that we had to win, we pushed a little bit harder to win them. Or like the other games against big teams, we just packed up and we arsed. But in those games,
not so much at home, no.
No.
It was away from him.
Yeah, away from. But
Goodison he had.
Moyes' mentality was always, and this went through the players, was these are the games you've got to win. So make sure you win them, and make sure you keep playing to the end to win them. And we did. We won a lot of games in the last minute, and that's the mentality we've got to start having. That only went so far with Moyes against the because it.
Well, he had no money.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is though, because he only pushed it so far, to win things, you end up having to play these big teams in big games, don't you? In semi-finals or cup-finals or whatever. Yeah. And that's.
I mean, I think the thing with David Moyes was he was negative against the big. I don't think he believed. But then again, maybe he just looked at it realistically and meant, these aren't that good. I'm milking every drop out of these. If he'd have had the Lukaku, maybe and a Barkley on form, or maybe not so much Ross now, but if he'd have had a Rom in the team at that time with them players, with Cahill off him, imagine him, Rom up front and Cahill off him in the 10. We'd have probably won, or we might have got close to winning something. The way I look at it now, the only way you can change is by a massive influx of players, getting rid of these lot of let us down under Moyes, they let us down under Martinez, and they're letting us down a bit under Koeman. I'm not calling them last night for letting us down, because I thought they tried. I wouldn't say they walked around the pitch last night. I thought they gave everything, but it's just very samey. It's just very samey, and I think it is the mentality. I don't think there's a belief, I think Liverpool have got the upper hand on us for so long now. Their players, even though they didn't play I said it on my instant reaction video last night. I watched that game. There was nothing really between the two teams. People can look and go, we're seeing people slagging Koeman off because he said we didn't deserve to lose the game. I don't actually think we did deserve to lose it. We certainly didn't deserve to win it, but I don't think we deserved. I thought it was just a draw all over it.
I thought, using one of, who was it? Was it Benitez? If it was being a boxing match, they'd have won on points, but they ended up winning anyway. But you know what I mean? Because what I'm saying is that they showed the intent to win. We didn't, and I think that's disappointing.
It is, right? It is, especially at Goodison.
Yeah,
it's very disappointing. But what I'm saying to you is, if you actually break the game,
I know.
We came out the United game the other week, right? Now, the Man United game, David De Gea had to make 4 really good saves, right? But we relied on a last minute penalty for Baines. No one anywhere said United were hanging on in that game. Everton could have won the game, should have won the game. You're going to go by last night's standards. Everton deserved to beat United. But I came out that game thinking a draw is probably a fair result. They were probably the upper team in the game, but Stekelenburg didn't have a single save to me. So, and De Gea's had to make 4, so you could argue and go, well, Everton deserved to win. United were lucky at Goodison. Last night, our keeper, Joel's made a great save from Firmino, and the other one, it's Stekelenburg's shoulder, I think, from Firmino. Other than that, they had nothing, really. They had a lot of the ball second half, they didn't really do anything. We didn't really do anything. To me, that was just, that have ended 0-0. You wouldn't, the Liverpool fans wouldn't have been crying out, going, we should have won, we deserved. They'd have just gone, it was a crap game. You know, we were the better side, but, you know, it was a crap game. I don't think anyone would have complained about it. That's so I can see where Koeman's coming from, saying we didn't deserve to lose. It wasn't, I've been to derbies, it's been 0-0, we've been hanging on for dear life, you know, and we've got away with it. Or we draw 1-1 and we've been battered. But, like you said, they were the more positive. If anyone was going to win it, it was Liverpool. It wasn't us, because we had an Ashley Williams header, which was like a back pass, and we had a Ron back header that if he missed times, it goes in. If it hits him on the side of the head, it goes in. Unfortunately, he caught it full on. But that was the way it went. And that'll be the disappointing thing for me, that it's a derby game at home, and we haven't registered 10 shots.
That's the problem, isn't it?
That's the problem.
But that's it.
But it's been a problem all season.
No, and lack of creativity is the big problem. We don't create enough opportunities from Lukaku. Romelu Lukaku, you know, he's just not that player. He's just not that player to run round and you know, he's looked a little bit more energetic in the last couple of games, having some a little bit closer.
He won a lot in the end.
But to be honest, Valencia didn't find themselves that close to him last night. There was enough interchanging between them, unfortunately. And also we run out of steam, I think, as well, because Liverpool fit side, and they, as I've said, they know how to play that. But that was the only thing that disappointed me. The disappointing thing was we settled for a point. Listen, I don't know about how tired or physical they, because I'll tell you what else happened, which probably was was a big indicator, was we lost our shape. The last 10-15 minutes, players found themselves all over the place, and that midfield, with being like a side.
I couldn't do it, you know, and I don't want to sit here and put it on Gareth Barry's shoulders. But it's just factual.
It is fact.
We lost a lot of energy.
This is what annoys me, Tom. I don't care if I'm a broken record. I do not care. That's where that kid could have been on the pitch and just give something. I don't give a monkeys if I sound like a broken record.
I think at the end of the day, you've got to. The best way with any football team, is replace like with like. Right? And Gareth Barry isn't the same as James McCarthy. Gareth Barry's a clever footballer. He's been a brilliant signing for Everton.
Yes, of course, yes.
About it. And he's staying for another year, and he'll have an important role to play in some games. He should be used sparingly, and when we want to see games out, last 15, 20, when everyone's dropped the level. But we needed, against those teams who were energetic, we needed to match like for like. You know, and it's I don't know, we give them the impetus in the second half because they had more fitness. And their subs, they brought Emre Can on, you know, thought that ball out wide.
Oh, the one that went into the family enclosure was amazing.
Yeah, that was a great ball, under no pressure. But they brought him on, he's an international, he's certainly up there. They brought Daniel Sturridge on, who's a top class centre forward when his cotton wool legs aren't giving way. So that was the difference. We know where we've got to go. We know that, you know, they're a good side, they're playing well. Like I say, there was not that much between us.
I mean, what did you think of Ross's performance? I mean, obviously there's a lot being made of the incidents in the game.
The tackle?
Yeah.
Well, the tackle was just a normal Steven Gerrard derby tackle.
Well, I mean,
it was a red card.
If you were brought up in the era we were brought up in, that was nothing.
That was just a warm.
That was like Peter Reid, Steve McMahon. Everyone got involved in one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a red card.
It was a red card. You can't defend.
But it
was just Ross Barkley trying to tackle.
Yeah, it was Ross Barkley trying. I don't know whether it was Ross Barkley trying to tackle or Ross Barkley trying to say, I'm doing the old shirt thing. You know what I mean? I'm doing it for the Blues and all that. He looked ragged second half, Ross, to me. Once again McCarthy went off and he started, I mean, his decision making again was so frustrating. But just his decision making, his passing, like first half, Ross Barkley's literally, I think, the only person on earth who thinks a ball can physically go through bone and skin, because honestly the amount of times he tries to pass through people's legs. Now, I said this on me, I don't know whether Ross would be better if he found there was more players running in front of him, so he's got more options. He's quite one-dimensional in the fact that once he sort of makes his mind up, it's quite clear where he's going to play the ball, and I think defenders find that very easy. Telegraphs a lot of his stuff. I'm just really worried.
The issue I have with it is that too many people just seem to put everything on him now. If he doesn't play, but
isn't he of an age where you've got to start putting stuff on him now?
Was he any worse than anybody else?
Is that the point? I don't see that. I don't say that.
I don't look at.
I don't say that. I think that's a legitimate point.
That's up to you.
No, but I don't.
Okay, well, I'd temper that with our centre forward should learn how to control a football.
But he does something though. Most games.
He didn't do anything last night.
No, he didn't. But most games he scores goals.
He didn't do anything.
Yeah, but maybe he didn't. But
he started certainly in the second half 80% of Liverpool's attacks because he can't control a football.
But he scores most of our goals.
I know. You can't just go, well, it's all on Ross Barkley, but don't have a go at Romelu Lukaku because he scores.
I'll have a go at Romelu.
I can go through all.
I'll have a go at him, but the point is,
the only player I'd say is good enough to where Everton want to be at the moment is Garner.
All right.
The other 10 can do one.
But okay, but the problem with Ross is though, is that when does that happen though? If that's the case, when does that happen? When do we come to the point where? I mean, the manager's already made it.
The manager's already at that point. If an offer comes in, he'll sell him.
So is he? Do you think he's past? I think he's past help in terms of coaching and stuff, or?
Well, I don't know because I don't know how they coach him. Do I? I just watch him and I see a player who's got loads of talent. He's good some weeks, he's poor other weeks. There's no consistency, and I think that's the issue with Ross Barkley. I thought he was brilliant against Arsenal, and he wasn't so brilliant last night, but it wasn't for the one to try, and he ran around, he tried to make a difference. It didn't happen for him. Lukaku was magnificent against Arsenal, I thought. You know, but people had a go, because I said he was garbage at Watford, which he was, and he scored 2 goals. But some people don't look at the whole game as a centre forward. You just see him score and go, he's amazing, he scored. But I thought against Arsenal he was incredible, his performance, because he bullied them and he was work rate and his control was good. Last night I thought he was bang average, if that. Like in a game we needed him to bully Lovren and Klavan, and he didn't see that. He had him in his pocket. So you can level that at a lot of players. You know, Ross Barkley, I don't know what the answer is with him. I'm not giving up on him. But I just think whenever Everton don't perform, it seems to be Ross's fault. It's nobody else. It just seems.
I'm not saying it's his fault. No, but I'm just saying.
You're saying what's happening with him.
I'm just saying what. I just really worry for. I just don't know where he's going.
Well, it doesn't matter, does it? Because we're not paid to pick him.
No, I know, but that's not the point. We're still fans. We take a big interest because.
I know, but what I'm saying to you is we can sit here and say that he's done, he needs to be sold, or he needs to be put in the 23s, or he just needs to play right the way through this. He needs to be told he's playing. I don't know what to think, because I don't know what makes him tick. I think he's got loads of ability. He's not performing to probably the level what his ability is, but I don't know what the reason is for that. I don't know whether he just hasn't got it. Maybe he'll never perform to what he should do. He's got the physical attributes. He can shoot with both feet. He hardly ever shoots. You know, he's at his best when he's having shots and making things happen, and he didn't do it. That was his game last night. He didn't do it. So, but I don't think it was for the one to try. In some games you look with Ross, and it's like when he performs badly, he's not even trying to affect it. He keeps giving it away and getting caught in possession. I don't think that happened much last night. I just don't think he was able to get on the ball as much as he wants. But you're right, he's probably at a crossroads in his Everton career, because I think the manager probably isn't that arsed about him, and I think if he got an offer that he thought was acceptable, I think he'd probably listen to it. But I think you put better players in, Ross Barkley becomes less of an issue because you've got better players. I think the problem is we haven't got many really good players on our side, so that's why I'll look for Rom, because I think he should be doing more as a centre forward. People will look for Ross because they think he should be doing more when he dip below that. You know, we've got bigger issues than Ross Barkley and Romelu Lukaku, I would say.
We have, I suppose we have, but at the same time,
essentially you're playing one striker.
What are his
the 2 players who are flanking him aren't anywhere near good enough. Ross Barkley's playing in the midfield. It's no mistake that he looked better in the first half last night when he had Garner and McCarthy. In the second half, he was ragged like.
But I still worry about his choices.
Yeah, maybe. But that's what I'm saying to you. Maybe that's him. Maybe he's at the highest level he's ever going to get to, where his ability would suggest he was higher.
The thing is, though, he's been higher, hasn't he, as a player?
Then if you've been up there and you drop down here, that's a confidence issue. It can be the only reason why. Not everyone hasn't all of a sudden sussed you out, because that doesn't happen at that level. It's whether you can climb, but if you can get, whether it's a mental thing or whether it's a confidence thing where you can climb back to your level, I don't know. I certainly think he can, but will he? Only he knows, doesn't he? Maybe it'll take a different club to do it, I don't know.
Sound depressed.
It's not, because he could go to Leicester on Boxing Day and he might score 2 worldies and it's brilliant and people will be going, he's fucking amazing. And then we go to Hull on the Friday and he's garbage again. And I think that's it with Ross. He epitomises the 2 out of 10 and the 9 out of 10. And we need Ross Barkley out of 7
There's
every
a lot
week.
of 2s though, isn't there? There has been.
This season there has been, yeah.
Lovren's a big shit house, isn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
He's a big shit house. What a shit house.
I mean, the referee's the biggest shit house. He started off the first 20 minutes like, I'm going to make sure I'm neutral here so no one can
and then he's seen his kids
then
anyway.
Then he forgot that he's a cop-out and his kids are, and he started. Because I've got no issue with a couple of the bookings he gives to our players, because Ross Barkley's was a red and he gave him a yellow. We got away with that. But Lovren is booked. And then on a booking, snaps Stingy over by the touchline, leaves a late tackle, and he gives a free kick, doesn't speak to him. Then Ross does Scrappy do, and he runs 50 yards to cause a kick-off, and then walks away, and the referee doesn't. That's a booking. You run through in sight, it's a yellow card. Lallana starts flapping hands around, pushing Coleman. Coleman gets booked on Lallana. You know, you just think, if you book Coleman, by all means, but book Alana. Alana. Book Lallana.
Alana? He was on the sideline?
He was on the sideline, shooting away. You know, and celebrating as if he'd won the World Cup, which I thought was a bit strange. But you know, we can't defend the tackle by Ross. It was a red card.
It's good though.
On Scrappy, wasn't it? It was on Scrappy.
Anything on Scrappy's sound, because he's a big tit.
Oh, he's a mate. I'm not being funny. He'd last about 35 seconds on a Sunday because he just get banged out of shitbag. He's one of them. Hold me back.
Yeah.
He thinks he's Steven Gerrard, only he's not as good as Steven Gerrard's left testicle. So
it's very true.
I just thought last night it was the biggest single factor why England are shite, because he's in England. Not only is he an England player, he's the captain. So that says it all.
There you go. Yeah.
No, look, you know, it is what it is, isn't it? It was a crap game. They beat us like they generally do. We just hope that we're gonna improve. You know, these players won't. It's not like he's built this team, Ronald Koeman, and this was a big test for him. We had this great team. We've been sweeping teams aside, and they've come down and beaten us. We know we're kind of like Liverpool were 12 months ago under Klopp, albeit they had some better results. But he bounced around, losing games, but not celebrating the draw with West Brom and stuff. So that we've seen how he's been able to take them on another level this season, and that's all we can hope that Ronald Koeman does with us. Yeah,
and there needs a mentality shift with those players as well.
Well, I think fresh players will bring that, mate, because they'll come in. It's a different. Garner doesn't seem to have a mentality problem.
No, tackles everyone.
Just garners it up, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So the more fresh players you put in with it, coming from different clubs and different shifting mentality, I think the better for us.
Yeah. Yeah, let's not dwell on it any longer. It's done, it's dusted, it's over.
That's the positive.
Yeah.
It's done for the season unless we get them in the FA Cup.
Well, it's done
in that case,
anyway.
I'm going. Yeah, unless we get them in the FA Cup. In that case, I'm going to bed. I'm opening, put my phone on 3 hours later and seeing how we go.
We'll be boss by then, don't worry about it. Tell us what you think in the comments about the derby. Don't bother if you're red. My phone hasn't stopped pinging for 19 hours, so or whatever. So don't.
They love it, don't they? Not obsessed, like.
Not obsessed with us, like, not, you know, flags and flares and balloons and stuff like that, but, you know, we don't matter. Anyway, thank you for watching Toffee TV.
Merry Christmas.
I hope we've been slightly, you know, helped you out, helped you lift you and get the fume out. See you later.